Hello good people from YouTube, welcome to one more video, and here's Mars Durham from the band M-Files and this channel M-Files, as I made this channel out of my band's name because I decided to promote my band on this one, so I'm doing it now. Check on Spotify, got Instagram, got TikTok, all that stuff. But today we're just going to talk about my guitars. Some of them I use in shows, some of them I don't. But anyway, the point is that is my 2025 guitar collection. And let's not waste any time and go for it. So starting with, I'm a big fan of Nirvana and Kurt Cobain. So I got this Mustang and I made it to mimic the Mustang that were modified by Kurt. And but I got this Squire version. And I love these vintage modified Squires. They are amazing. They are not too light, not too heavy. They have real rosewood fretboard, which is quite a really good thing, with a 9.5-inch radius, which is great. The one that I like the most, to be honest. The most standard one. I do change all the electronics as I do in all the other ones, other guitars that you'll see. I actually did this bridge here with Telecaster saddles, compensated ones, and I got this humbucker, which I don't know which brand it is because there's nothing written about it. I got this from doing a service in someone else's guitar, and they gave me the pickup as part of my payment, or sort of a extra payment. This neck pickup is a Fender Pure Vintage 65, and I changed the potentiometers here for the full-size CTS pots. I blocked the tremolo, so it's way more stable on tuning, and I did put Fender tuning pegs. Normally I put Goto vintage tuning pegs in my the Japanese made Goto on all my guitars, but I have some spare Fenders that I took from some Fenders, and I put the Goto ones on the Fenders, so I decided to put the spare Fender ones on these Squires. Not all of them, you'll see as we go. But this pickup sounds amazing, and I don't know which brand it is, but whatever it is, I just love the sound, and suits well this type of Nirvana alternative rock kind of sound, which is kind of the sound of my band, in case you're wondering, M-Files. So I did a lot of shows with this guitar. Actually, our first gig ever as a band was done on this guitar. £200 for it, and I got it used, of course, here in London where I live. Continuing with the offset guitars, because I love these Squires, and I decided to get as well a Jazzmaster, the same type, vintage modified rosewood. I kept the original tuners on this one. I put a Kinman noiseless pickup, I think it's a Jazz Blaster or something like that, I don't know what it is. Surf Blaster, Surf Master, something like that, on the bridge. I kept the original pickup, the Squire one, here on the neck, which is, you know, this one's noiseless, this one is not, but this one sounds really good. It's one of those vintage, it's one of those Seymour Duncan design pickups. And it does sound really good, to be honest, especially after I changed the electronics. I changed all the electronics on these guitars. I put also a buzz stop here, and this tremolo, once you set it up properly, honestly, you don't need. I honestly don't think you need a Fender or a Master or whatever. I mean, I know those ones are better. They will perform better. But with this buzz stop and the proper setup of the screw here in the middle, man, I mean, it doesn't get out of tune. I'm great with this guitar. Of course, this one has the original tuners. They go out of tune a little bit more often than the Goto ones, but not something that really bothers me. I actually played the last M-Files show with this guitar, and I love the looks with this kind of 59 type of look that I put here with the anodized gold pickguard. And I played, man, with this Kinman noiseless. I just play in the bridge all the time. Big distortion, fuzz, big muff sound, and it was great. We were playing in South End, opening for the Nirvana tribute, and it was amazing. It was really nice. Following the same style, now I have a Jaguar. This is also a vintage modified. This one has the Goto tuners here, so kind of vintage vibe there, kind of relic. I tried to paint this guitar red, didn't work out. I tried to paint it pink with a different paint type, didn't work out. Start scraping the paint out and then start relicking it. I remove all the gloss out of it, and while I was doing this relicking process, started looking really cool, kind of, you know, the Fender relic, whatever. And everyone that saw the guitar was like, "Oh my God, this guitar looks amazing! What have you done, bro?" So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and it looks really cool actually. I put the mint green pickguard just to give it a, you know, my own twist and things. It looks kind of has that vibe of the John Frusciante 62 Strat, because he doesn't have a tortoiseshell pickguard here, so it gives a different look. I also sand the back of the neck of all of these guitars that I've shown so far. I mean, every single guitar that I have, if it's not satin finish here, if it's a gloss finish, I sand them down. I prefer the playability, and this is not an exception. Also, I have Kinman noiseless pickups here as well for the Jaguar on these both positions in this one. Okay. Now, just following this offset Squire situation, I have this guitar that I just modified recently. I used to have two Fender Stratocaster pickups on it. That was the idea. It was kind of a Surfcaster kind of thing. But then I had some issues with guitars on shows where there was too many things happening and I couldn't really troubleshoot what was the problem with the guitar, so I decided to have kind of a Tom DeLonge inspired guitar where you have just the bridge pickup and a humbucker. I know a lot of other people besides Tom DeLonge did that, but he was the first one that came to my mind. And this is a Squire classic vibe body with a Fender 70s Mexican neck. Okay, the 70s tuners and stuff. This is our Fender. So maple neck, full maple neck, and then this pickup is Seymour Duncan JB. So the one that Kurt Cobain used to put in most of his guitars, his most Mustangs. I just got this this last weekend. It used to be a black pickguard here with two noiseless Stratocaster pickups, but I decided to have this one guitar for show, for gigging, that had this pickup that I always wanted to have. This pickup, I always wanted to hear this pickup, see what it's all about. It's actually really good. There's no big mystery. It's a humbucker, you know, but it has a lot of high-end definition that maybe other humbuckers wouldn't have. And it has a really punchy sound, and I like it. It works exactly for this purpose for me. I also put a kill switch here. I put a kill switch in most of my guitars, the ones that I make. The other Squires were modifications. This was more like a project where I bought the parts and put it together myself. And my first guitar was also one of those projects, which I will show you right now. So yeah, my first guitar was also one of these projects for me to have something that was unique. It was not just another Strat or another Tele or whatever, another Les Paul. So I made this guitar, I think it's 2014. Yeah, 14 or 16 maybe. 14, I think it was 14, yeah. It's a Fender neck with some Goto tuners, okay? Once again, back was sanded is rosewood. This one is 10-inch radius because it's from a player series. They don't do this one anymore. Now it's the equivalent of the Vintera modified. This body was made in Brazil by a guy who had a machine to cut, and I said, can you please cut a Jazzmaster body with Telecaster hardware electronics holes and a neck pocket for Strat neck? And he said, yeah, sure. And then I took to a car shop and asked if they could paint it gold for me. This is not any specific gold that I would know, to be honest, the name of it, but it looks really good, and I'm happy with the result. I have noiseless N3 Fender pickups here, and this guitar is my favorite guitar. It's my first one that I built, and to be honest, the first guitar that I owned, because before there I only had a Squire that a friend lent to me for a couple of years. So this guitar is the one that is my favorite. It's the one that I will never be apart. I'll always keep it. If I have to sell all my guitars, I'll keep this one. Following the Tele stuff, this is my John Frusciante-esque Tele. It's actually a Squire Classic Vibe. It's one of those FSR S Squires that doesn't have the neck pickup. But I bought this used on Facebook Market for £200. And actually most of my guitars I bought on Facebook Market for £200 and modified them the hell out of it. This one is an Indian Laurel neck. It's not like the other ones that have actual rosewood fretboard, but this one for some reason is not as bad as other ones that I've tried. This one's actually really smooth. I don't know if they did some treatment to the fretboard, but this is a kind of a FSR situation, and for some reason it's actually really good. Or maybe they listened to the customers that were complaining about the classic vibes. They had a lot of dry and a lot of resistance on the fretboard from other models, from the Classic 5 models from some time ago, I don't know. But anyway, double bind, kind of 60s vibe. I put, actually, the pickups are 51 no casters, custom shop. I love these pickups, they're amazing. Neck, bridge, and I put a four-way position here, so you have the parallel and series situation going on here in the middle. And once again, full-size CTS pots, 250K in this case. Yeah, I love this guitar, it's really good. It came with a broken nut, but I fixed that. I'm I'm a big fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers, so here's my Strat, and is also inspired by John Frusciante for his Fiesta Red Strat. Of course, there are the people like Gary Moore and you know, Dire Straits that has many people. Could be just a 62 whatever, 60s whatever Fiesta Red guitar, but it was originally inspired by John Frusciante. This guitar has a 7 1/4 radius, so the vintage radius with the vintage frets. It is a Max Connect. I put the Goto tuners and a luthier relic this, and I bought this actually used and relicked like that from Facebook Market too. The pickups on this one is a fat 50s in the neck and a pure vintage 65 in the other two positions. I love this guitar. It's really good Strat. I've been with a lot of Strats. I did a lot of setup for Strats for other people and stuff like that. And I don't do it anymore, but I used to do it all the time. And this is a really good one. I tried many different types of combinations of pickups, and I removed the whole pickguard. I put a new one here with different pickups, like more expensive pickups and shit. And in the end, maybe my ears are just used to these ones. I always go back to these and say, ah, home. I'm back home. This is the sound that I love. Yeah. And now I'm a Fender boy, obviously, as you can tell by I needed the whole collection and plus my two weird designs here. But you have to have a Les Paul. And in January of 2024, I saw this on promotion. I think they were just burning the stock that they had after Christmas or something, and this was going for $299, and this guitar usually is like $500. So I thought, okay, that's $550 actually normally. So I thought, okay, that's almost half price, I'm gonna get it. I put the Goto tuners here like I normally do, and but I kept the rest as it is. And it's one of those worn versions, so it doesn't have the whole thick lacquer on top of it, so it makes a lighter Les Paul, which is good because it's already a heavy guitar. And the neck's great, playability is great. I have no complaints. The pickups are really good too. I might put some Mojo 59 pickups here one day on it just to take it to a whole other level of as a guitar. But to be honest, I did a lot of rehearsals. I never gigged with this guitar, but I did a lot of rehearsals. It's a very fair guitar for the price, you know, and at least for the price that I paid. But plays really well, and if you want to do your Oasis, if you want to do your Led Zeppelins, if you want to play Foo Fighters, or you know, or your Joe Bonamassa impersonation, whatever, this will do the job. And I think it's important to have a Strat. Is important to have a Les Paul kind of thing. Even though it took me years to finally pull the trigger on one. This guitar has a video on its own. And actually, most of these guitars have videos on each one of them. But this one is a really special guitar for me because I start playing because of Marty McFly, like many people. I start playing because of Johnny B. Good, that interpretation of the end of the movie. And he's using a 345. This, of course, is the Epiphone, not a Gibson. I once again put the Goto tuners, these relic versions here, they're really cool. I did sand it the lacquer of the neck because I need to do that for my playability. I did put treble bleed in these two volume knobs here, and it has the Veritone, which is quite cool, but in the end the best sound is the original sound that a 335 would have or whatever. It's an amazing guitar, plays really well, pickups are original. I'm not a big fan of gold hardware, but it is what it is, the one in the movie is like that. It needs a Bigsby, I will put it at some point. The original guitar from the movie also was like this, and someone removed the tailpiece here and put a Bigsby on it, so this is a modified version, like this one will be one day. These guitars were not spoken about it on YouTube or anything like that. For some reason, Epiphone didn't make a huge announcement about it or anything, but it's kind of quite a rare one. Like, they did a limited version in 2011 that I couldn't get my hands on, and I thought these goes kind of overpriced nowadays if you find one used and if you find one in red. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, 700 pounds or 750. I said, you know what, I'm gonna get it, and if I don't like it, I'll just sell it or whatever, you know. But it's a great guitar, man. It's a great guitar. I mean, I love this way more than a Les Paul. I'm a Fender guy, but if it comes to Gibson style guitars, I like the semi-hollow ones. And the Les Paul is great, but this one is so much more fun. I mean, just the amount of feedback that you can do, the lower kind of darker sound that you can get, like the jazzier sound that you can get is really cool. The fuzzy cream kind of vibe, and you can play a lot of modern rock with this too, you know, like you just need a humbucker and the bridge, right, and a lot of distortion, and you're in Foo Fighters territory or whatever. So I never did a gig with this guitar. I don't know if I ever will. It's kind of big and annoying to carry on the tube, so I prefer taking my Fenders, but you could use this guitar to gig easily. I mean, there's a lot of parts, there's a lot of things going on here. You could, you know, hit your fingers and break stuff, I don't know. That's why I don't think I will ever do, but it's a nice recording. It's also another guitar that maybe in the future I'll change the pickups, but I don't feel like it's necessary yet, at least not at this point. And these were my guitars, but let's continue because it's not over yet. Okay, so for my acoustic guitars, I got this Heartwood, cheap stuff, but really good actually. I got this for 100 pounds, but they were showing me a picture of a different preamp here. So I told him, so look guys, this is not what I bought. This, the picture of this is not the same ones that you had displaying when I bought. It's a different preamp. They said, okay, look, you can send the guitar back or we can give you a 25% discount. Considering that this was 100 pounds, then it went down to 75 because they gave me the discount. I was like, great, okay. 75-pound cheap brand new guitar, and sounds fine. I think it's great. This electric has a built-in tuner, you know, you can record, you can play gigs. It's not a great sound plug-in, but I always like to mic it anyway. And it's a fair sound, man. It's a fair acoustic sound. I didn't change anything on it apart from the fact that I put very low action, and I put guitar strings 10 to 46 because I like the playability of these strings. That's what I have in all my guitars, and I don't like the fact that acoustic guitars are so much stiff and hard to play. I like to have the same playability, you know. And yeah, I decided to put guitar strings, and I loved it. I don't feel like I really need acoustic strings on it. It doesn't have this one wound string, the third one, but who cares? Oh, it's in D. Drop D. Okay, anyway, got the point. It's a really fair guitar. Okay, so I'm half British, half Brazilian, and every single Brazilian has to have a classical guitar with nylon string. Okay, the Spanish classical guitar, the Pythagoras original. Because, you know, the Brazilians do that kind of stuff. It's a bit out of tune, but I don't care. Anyway, the point is that this is a very cheap guitar. I bought it for 40 pounds. Someone was leaving the country and just wanted to leave with someone. I said, okay, I'll take it. 40 pounds. It's actually electric, so you can plug it in, even though once again the sound of the acoustic plug sucks. So I always put the microphone, it has a fair sound. I never changed the strings of this. I need to put new strings on it. It's completely out of tune. That's okay. But yeah, it's, as a Brazilian from Rio, I mean, I'm half British, half Brazilian, but I'm originally from Rio, and we need to have one of these. It's just part of our life. You have a skateboard, you have a bike, like a cycling, you know, and you have a nylon acoustic guitar in your room. That's part of just growing up in Rio. You have to have one, you know. You have a cell phone, you have one of these. You have a TV, you have one of these, you know. That's what it is. Anyway, this is my bass. This is a P bass that I made. It's the first instrument I ever made. It has a Mighty Mite neck, so licensed by Fender, but not even a Mexican one. It has, I would say, it's the equivalent quality of a nice Mexican Fender neck. There's a Mighty Mite. This body, I believe, it's Squire. I don't know. It does fit the neck, and it was painted beige, but you can see that it's coming out here. I played a lot of gigs with this when I was more of a bass player, and I had a lot of different projects. I made this back in Brazil when I was living there, and yeah, I was afraid that someone was going to steal my Fender. I had a Fender jazz bass, so I made this to go to any gig without, you know, be careless and fearless of losing my bass. There's a lot of people stealing stuff and robbing you back in Brazil, you know, and basses are expensive. So I decided to make this one that was fairly cheap to make. I got the electronics. This is the actual Fender 62 P bass pickup. I did the whole electronics. This is a cheap Chinese whatever bridge, and it works just fine. And I record the album M Files with this bass here in London because I brought it with me when I moved many years ago. And I recorded the whole album, A Beam of Light, from my band M Files. You can check out Spotify, Instagram, here on this channel, and you know, on YouTube. The album is there. It's called Beam of Light. It's a joke with a song from the 80s, and M Files is the band. Hence the Mario hat. And yeah, man, I recorded the whole album with this bass, and it does the job. See, works just fine. Okay, and now, well, you can see I have my rack completely full here, but I still actually have one more guitar. Now 2025, it actually currently on sale in Reverb. It's in London where I live, and it's a Squire body with a Fender Mexican neck, okay, with Fender vintage tuners, but with this modern performer fit. It has Chinese pickups. light guitar. It has a kill switch and CTS pots and everything, and a Fender original American bridge here, the 2-point tremolo, and it comes with the arm. There's over there. And this guitar I'm selling is a nice color, Fiesta Burgundy Mist, and it's a little bit thinner body, but that's what it makes it really light. But it's not light in a bad way. It's actually really good light to carry on the tube and everything, go around. And because it's a Squire, it's a beautiful color, but because it's a Squire, you know, you can hit it anywhere and not be scared of losing value or anything. Well, you might lose a little bit, but you know, it's not an expensive guitar. It's going for $450 on Reverb. So this was my guitar collection. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, if you want to support or do anything, I think I'm even going to stop monetizing this channel because it's so useless, this money that comes from YouTube, which is nothing. It's peanuts. Like literally, like I probably get like £7 a month for this channel. It's useless. I'd rather have you guys not watching commercials when you watch my videos. Check it out in files here on YouTube. I just posted on this channel the gig that we did opening for Nirvana tribute at the South End. It's the full gig here on YouTube. I'll put the link, but you can look on the channel as well, and you can watch us, you know, TikTok, Instagram, and Spotify with the album of Beam of Light. And yeah, if you like what you saw here, want to see these guitars in action, check out the videos here on YouTube or check out the album on Spotify. If you want to follow the band, Instagram is the best place, but if you like more TikTok, we're there too. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good good year of 2025, and catch you guys on the next one. Cheers. Bye.